An exciting discovery leads to controversy as Harvard scientists collect fragments from interstellar meteor. An exciting discovery has led to controversy after scientists from Harvard University collected fragments believed to belong to a huge interstellar meteor, but PNG officials have raised concerns that the research was conducted within their waters without a permit. Last year, the U.S. Space Command confirmed the 500-kilogram interstellar fireball that crashed in the ocean near Manus Island in 2014 came from outside our solar system, sparking excitement among researchers. The ABC can reveal the expedition team entered PNG on business visas and did not have a permit or official approval to conduct the research. Wilson Thompson, chairman of the PNG National Research Institute, NRI, said his department did not receive a research application from Harvard. On its website, the NRI is listed as the only authority able to issue research visas in PNG. If they were coming in for research purposes, they would have applied for a research visa. Expedition coordinator Rob McCallum said his team was communicating with the PNG government for 8 months leading up to the trip. We were advised that the best course of action was to supply a marine science research permit application because we're operating in the marine environment, Mr. McCallum said. The PNG Department of Justice and Attorney General introduced marine research guidelines in 2021, with the aim of improving regulation. Mr. McCallum said complexities arose from the unique nature of the study. The team lodged multiple applications, none of which were approved, so it hasn't fitted into any of the traditional research mechanisms that people typically follow for a biological or geological science program. When asked why the team did not wait for the bureaucratic issues to be resolved, Mr. McCallum said, "I'm not sure how to answer that." Manus authorities raised concern. Authorities on Manus Island have also complained they were not notified of the research. Acting Deputy Administrator Panua Polan said the team should have contacted his office, even though the expedition area was technically outside Manus waters. Protocol stipulates that for any visitors conducting business or research into the province, you must do a courtesy call to the provincial government and the provincial administration so that we are aware of your presence, he said. The protocol still applies because the last port of dispatch was Manus. But Mr. Polan acknowledged complexities within the system. "You see, we have a number of agencies performing the role of administrating scientific research in Papua New Guinea," he said. "Poor guys, they need to go to quite a number of them. So I understand why they skipped some of those national agencies." The Harvard research team has established a research partnership with the PNG University of Technology. A letter from the university's vice-chancellor, Ora Ranagi, pledges full support for the expedition, saying, "The outcomes are most likely to provide the most significant astronomical discoveries ever made." Professor Avi Loeb, who led the expedition, said a department chair from the PNG University of Technology would travel to Harvard University soon to take part in the analysis. Doubts raised over claims meteor could be an alien spacecraft. Professor Loeb's team set out on a research boat called Silver Star in late June. Using a magnetic sled, they excavated debris from the ocean floor where the meteor hit. Most of the material was volcanic ash, black powder. Professor Loeb told the ABC it wasn't until they used a fine mesh sieve to filter the volcanic ash that they found what they were looking for, tiny metallic balls referred to as spherules. "That was a thrilling moment. I hugged the people around me when we found it," he said. "The spherules are like marbles, made mostly of iron, each a fraction of a millimeter in size. If they are proven to be from outside our solar system," Professor Loeb says it will have been the first time humans have collected and studied interstellar material. Professor Loeb sent about 50 of the spherules, weighing just 35 milligrams, back to the United States by post. "Even though it took a few days to deliver them to my home, it probably took millions or billions of years for them to arrive to Earth in the first place," he said. 3 laboratories are now working on analyzing the objects. "We hope to figure out whether the elements that this meteor was made of are, indeed, different from solar system materials," Professor Loeb said. "The second question is, can we tell whether the object was technological in origin?" Professor Loeb said it might be the first sign of civilization beyond our solar system. Scientists say fragment discovery, fairly common. Monica Grady, a professor of planetary science at the Open University, criticized Professor Loeb's claims in an article published in The Conversation last week. "There is a very large scientific leap from observing a fireball to claiming it is an alien spaceship," she said. Professor Grady said analytical evidence would be needed to accept that the metallic spherules are extraterrestrial. She believes it's more likely that they are terrestrial pollutants. Australian National University professor of geochemistry Mark Norman said it's fairly common to discover the types of materials Professor Loeb's team have uncovered. He said they are likely to be cosmic spherules, which he described as little bits of meteoritic material, which have entered the atmosphere and have gotten so hot that they melted. There's nothing especially special about the samples that Dr. Loeb has pulled up. Dr. Norman pointed out that it isn't the first time Professor Loeb has brought up the possibility of extraterrestrial civilization, adding that he's no stranger to controversy. I don't think there's any compelling evidence that would point in that direction, he said. Speaking to the ABC in April, Swinburne University's Sarah Webb, an Australian astrophysicist who is not involved in the project, said while the discovery was like a scientific goldmine, reports of alien objects could give rise to disinformation. While it was incredibly interesting, it could simply just be a piece of rock. In 2017, the first known interstellar object to visit our solar system was briefly detected by the University of Hawaii's Pan-STARRS 1 telescope. The object was determined to be a comet now known as Oumuamua. Fascinating scientists who found it not only came from far beyond the solar system but that it was uniquely shaped. While the rocky, cigar-looking comet has been widely studied and believed to be of natural origin, Professor Loeb had argued that it might be artificial. In a paper published in 2018, he claimed that Oumuamua had been nothing less than humanity's first contact with an artifact of extraterrestrial intelligence. Dr. Norman said Professor Loeb was now similarly trying to relate the metallic spherules from the meteor to material you might find in an alien spacecraft. Treasure hunt for more evidence. Professor Loeb and his team hope to return to the meteor site to collect more material. Now we know where to look because these spherules are just like romantic rose petals that lead you to your partner, he said. The partner is any big piece of this meteor that may lie on the ocean floor, and we hope to look for it in a future expedition. The meteor, referred to as CNEOS 20140108 or IM-1, was detected by U.S. ballistic missile systems in 2014. Professor Loeb said material from the meteor could be dated using radioactive isotopes. We plan to share these materials with anyone within the worldwide scientific community. So there is no commercial value whatsoever, Professor Loeb said. Mr. McCallum said the expedition should be seen as a success. This project is of huge scientific value, he said. This is going to potentially change our understanding of the universe around us. And I'm just so delighted that Papua New Guinea got a front seat at the table.